What's up, guys? Name's Joe. Wanted to introduce this channel, Decks and Drafts. Man, I've come a long way from that guy. Oh, son of a bitch! Legend Story Studios is sending out a content creator appreciation kit to various content creators, a lot of small ones, kind of like myself, who are just kind of up and coming, just kind of growing. It's a bunch of exclusive promos that we can use to grow our channel in various ways, be that leveraging Patreon, or doing giveaways like on YouTube, or Instagram, or Discord, or doing something like Buy Me a Coffee, as long as we're not just straight up selling these things. Like they have said, please don't take these promos and just put them on eBay or Facebook. That kind of betrays the relationship. This is designed to be something where we can get you engaged with us, introduce you to us, and you can see what we do, and hopefully you like it and subscribe, and off we go to the races. Now, I know it makes no sense to give these to every creator that is out there, and I know that there are some creators who I'm a big fan of who maybe didn't get this. I don't exactly know who's gotten this and who hasn't yet, but I'm getting the Creator Appreciation Kit too, and I figure I'll get to, how I'm going to distribute that stuff later, but for now, since we're on topic of content creator appreciation, I wanted to give you 6 creators who I follow who are, also a little bit small, but I love their work, and I think that you should be checking them out as well. So if this is your first time to my channel, welcome. I'm happy to have you. One of the things I do as Decks and Drafts is, drafts meaning beer. So beer for the day. Beer for the day. I'm doing that. I didn't do the last one because I'm trying to slim down a little bit. It's not working. So screw it. Beer for the day. Bohemia style Pilsner called Thresher, Thresher's not a name that I would associate with a Pilsner. But whatever. Bohemia style Pilsner called Thresher. From Brow Brothers Brewing? Three Brow Brothers? There's a 3 on the label? I don't know if you can see that. I don't know why. 3 on the label. From Marshall, Minnesota, where we're at. So, that's cool. Not gonna complain about that. Oh god. That I'm gonna complain about. Why? That's not even fine. And that's going to be just it's not the worst pour in the world. That's worth complaining about. Jerk. Alright, 1 sec. Gotta clean that up. And we're back. Stupid beer. And I'm going to say, and I know that this is going to sound like just because it just bubbled over that I'm just being aggressive. This beer smells like butt. I'm just saying. Okay, but we're going to try it. We're going to try it. I'm willing to be surprised. I'm a big IPA guy also, and I know that stuff I know that also does not smell great. Glass for the day, because I do these, I know, and it's gonna be kind of the same one, because it's mine, because again, this might be your first time to the channel, and since we're talking content creator, I've got some words on these, but let's try the beer. So first off, to those who I mentioned, and those who I don't for this, I cheers to you for doing content creation. Anybody who wants to get into it, feel free to reach out and whatnot. I'm going to do a whole video on content creation actually as a follow-up next week. But boom, cheers to you. Thanks for joining. Okay, that's actually really good. That's really good. Wow. Okay, it's got a little bit of Pilsners tend to have a little bit of a honey taste to them. It's just a little bit sweeter. Okay, that is crisp and refreshing, as a Pilsner should be. Good job, Thresher. Thanks for exploding on the table and smelling like butt, but at least it tastes real good. Anyway, so yeah, really quick about the glass. So, as LSS, as I mentioned before, kind of LSS suggests that ways you can promote your channel are through things like Patreon and whatnot. And I have a Patreon, patreon.com/decksanddrafts. I've also started up Buy Me a Coffee. I've had people reach out because I do the Learn to Play kit that says, man, we'd love to support what you're doing, but the subscription-based stuff is just kind of a drag. So for that, I started up Buy Me a Coffee, which is actually Buy Me a Beer. I can change it to beer, but I can't change the site. So buymeacoffee.com/decksanddrafts. You can support it as well. I've got coasters, which I should just grab one out. Here we go. Boom, my coasters with my old logo. on them. And then you can also get the glass. I think I put them for like 15, 20 bucks just because they're a lot to ship. But yeah, check that out. I'll put the link in the description if you want to kind of support the channel without getting locked up into the whole subscription stuff, or if you, it's kind of like a mini merch shop. I don't know if I'm supposed to use it as a mini merch shop, but that's what I'm doing. Anyway, thank you guys so much for all the support so far, but that's not what you're here for, and I'm already like 3.5 minutes in. So let's get going with my top 6. I'm picking 6 because I couldn't cut it down to 5, and I didn't want to go over. I just got to a point of like, oh god, it's going to turn into 20, 30. So here are my top 6 in no particular order. So I guess they're not the top 6. There's 6. It's 6 that I like. Okay, this is dragging on too long. Kicking off my list is Go Again Gaming. That's Az. He's across the pond, so whenever he's like, if he's doing late night games, it's mid-afternoon for me, and it's great. Card Games with Friends is his page. He does a lot of Flesh and Blood content. He's very casual, so if you're looking for like those super deep diving, I'm gonna win Pro Tour with this guy, he's probably not the way to go. But he does a lot of live streams. He's also a big Azalea fan, so I'm as an Azalea guy, it's great. He just started up his Pass the Turn podcast as well. Fun guy to listen to. Super upbeat. Loves the community. He's a great presence. Great force. His Discord, he also has a Discord server where on Tuesday nights people get together to just jam out a lot of casual games. I've gotten to get a lot of work in with my Data Doll the last couple of weeks. So I really appreciated him and what he does. He just did a content creator talk that kind of inspired both this video as well as a couple of others. So he is definitely worth checking out. He also does Ultimate Pit Fight with like Red Zone Rogue and DM Armada, and he puts a lot of work into those videos. The production quality is solid. It's where I'd love to get to someday. I just don't have that kind of time. So Talking Head and beer, that's how we go. Cheers to you. Go Ahead Gaming. He'll be in the description. Everybody's going to be in the description. But yeah, check him out. Speaking of great production quality and a lot of fun UPF, because I actually just watched this, even though it showed up earlier this month, I've got to give a shout out to Laustin Spayce. He's going to be the second on my list. Now, don't try to spell that like the show, Laustin Spayce. It is very different. Laustin Spayce. I don't know, I just spelled it. It's going to be on the screen. It's on the screen. Anyway, Stuart out of Singapore. He hasn't done a ton of videos, but what he's done are fantastic. Again, rockin' production quality. He's also kind of near that 500 sub mark like I am, which is great. The thing I love about his channel is actually, especially recently, he just did a UPF tournament where he's got like a 3-camera setup. So it's not just like the top down where you're seeing everybody, but he's putting graphics on the screen, and he also has live reactions of people as they're playing because he's got cameras that are on people's faces, which I actually really like. I like those more than just let's stare at a table for an hour. I like seeing people's faces and their reactions. So again, really casual player, but he also does a bunch of deck techs. He had a great Shiana OTK video. God, I think that was you. Hold on, I gotta go check. I gotta remind myself. Yeah, the OTK Stubbies. Rest in peace, Shiana OTK Stubbies. But yeah, again, Laustin Spayce, absolutely worth checking out. He is a great production quality. He's a great guy to talk to. He's always active in some of the Discord servers that we share. Yeah, totally worth it. So that's my number 2. Rounding out the flesh and blood focused. Wow, that was harder to say than I thought. I'm gonna wrap this one with Brew Tap Cast. My buddy Russ. He hasn't done a lot of long form videos lately. He's doing card a day 1-minute shorts, which he's at day 117 now, going through pretty much every card in the deck. He's a great guy to play games with. I've been on his channel a couple times when Blessed Cards launched the PvE variant for Flesh and Blood. He was one of the first ones to reach out and said, I gotta get on this. So we got to play it on his channel. It was great. A lot of the stuff that he does is actually also in his Discord. So he does a lot of just, hey, I'm free throughout the day if you want to get a couple of games in. It's a pretty active channel. He loves playing games over Discord and whatnot. So, like I said, I haven't seen a ton from him lately. I hope to see a bunch more from him, but in the meantime, the content that he has is great. I really enjoy watching it. Again, super casual. I'm not a highly competitive player, but I know that he can get into that space a little bit. So, yeah, definitely worth it. Cheers to you, and I also missed my cheers to Laustin Spayce, so I'm gonna double sip here. That's 1. That's 2. Halfway through, have to go. I like it. So stepping away from the flesh and blood focused groups and creators and just kind of pulling into general card game hobbyists, I've got to start with Jordan and Scheming Skeleton. He's one of the absolute best out there. Such a great guy. He's one of the first people who I ever did a collaboration with as Decks and Drafts, which felt really validating. That was a good feeling. I felt like I was valued. And he treated me great, even though he was way further along than I was. But his content has kind of switched from being very flesh and blood to a bit of a blend of a lot of things, not just card games, but hobbies as well, mostly because he spent way too long playing Elden Ring, and he just had to share that with the world. But the thing that I like the most about Jordan is that he has fun with the worlds of card games. He just did a deck tech for Genus What You Need, and he created like a story, created a poem for him. He'll even do like voices, things like that. So I love what he does. He also does the Bone Zone. For those of you who are big fans of George, who shows up on like May the Zoo Be With You and whatnot over from Compete Sport, the Bone Zone is a really fun podcast as well. But he just has so much knowledge about the industry and can really appreciate any game space in kind of the big picture. He's also been doing a lot of like history videos. So he did a great like dead card game videos from the 90s and talked a little bit about that. So if you want somebody who's just kind of a good, casual, comfortable blend of everything, you have to go check out Jordan. So yeah, that's he's gonna be my number 4 there. Cheers to you, Jordan. I'm just gonna cheers everybody. It's how it works. Also, I can't wait to see you out in Origins and hang out finally, see you in person. He's going to be helping me out with Genesis, Battle of Champions. So that's going to be an absolute blast out in Columbus, Ohio. The same weekend as the Calling in Las Vegas. Arg, but we'll make it fun. We're going to make it worth it. For my number 5, I'm going to go way away from Flesh and Blood. So if you're a Flesh and Blood guy looking for Flesh and Blood creators, this is not your guy. But if you want a card game fan who's just really fun and does a lot of fun things and just has pure joy and excitement for all of the things that exist out there, you have to look up Jeff Pacitto. Pacitto is his last name. He recently cracked 100 episodes for his Collectors and Cars Cracking Packs, which I love that name, by the way. It's based off of Comedians and Cars Drinking Coffee from Jerry Seinfeld. But congratulations on episode 100 of that. But he just loves playing and trying out new games. He's on Tabletop Simulator a lot. He does a bunch of tournaments that he streams. Really knowledgeable at the space. Creates his own art. Actually, Genesis made kind of cards from his art. He did chibi versions of their champions. But he's into like Legions of War, and he's trying things like Boundless TCG and a lot of games that I've just never heard of. But he really gets in. He does some good reviews of quality and whatnot. He knows his way around. He is a great way to see kind of some of the underappreciated, underrepresented card games out there. And he's just a joy to talk to. He's somebody who I really just want to just hang out with this guy someday and just talk. Just art and games and all that stuff. He's a really fun person. You have to check out his channel. I totally forgot to toast you. So, Jeff, this is a cheers to you. Also, congrats on the 100 episodes of Cracking Packs. For the last little bit. The last one, the last guy. I have to end. And I know I'm jumping right back into very heavy Flesh and Blood. I have to end with Bronson. If you have not watched Bronson, you've got to check him out. Now, a lot of his stuff is very Flesh and Blood focused, but the thing that I love about Bronson, it's a lot of just guy in a chair. You know, oh God, I feel really bad. I think it's just like a regular guy in a regular room. I forgot exactly what he calls himself.
I'm just a normal guy in a normal room, as you see right here.
But he's just one of those, he just sits in a chair and he just talks to you. It's just like, hey, let's have a conversation. Of all the people who I follow, I don't want to gift Bronson like promos or a playmat. I want to gift him a really nice chair and a bottle of scotch. Because that's just his vibe. He doesn't create a lot of content that's like your deck techs and things like that, but what he does is he's kind of an opinion guy that says, this is what Flesh and Blood has done, these are the moves that are made, or this is what the creators are doing, or this is what the conversation is around this game. How do I, as a fan, take that and feel about that? And then he creates a conversation where you kind of get to just think about, how does this what does this do to you as a fan, as a customer? And it's just a great conversation. He puts a lot of thought and energy into kind of, into his opinions. He's a wonderful person to like listen to in the background. He's always going to inspire some thoughts and some considerations and a perspective that maybe you hadn't seen before. Top tier, man. Absolutely top tier. But the reason I end with him is because I actually started with him. Bronson is the first person to actually recognize me as Decks and Drafts, or as he called it at the time, the beer guy, which was great. I'll take the beer guy. But he was the first person to recognize me that wasn't like friends or family, and it was a real feeling of validation. We actually played in an online skirmish together. We were paired up, and he was like, "Are you the beer guy?" I'm like, and I lost my mind. So I was like, we just chatted about that the whole time. I popped onto his Drinking with Bronson cast that he did. It was so good. There was a lot of great validation and whatnot. So I've always been a big fan of his. If you want somebody who is just like, I am thinking about the world as a player or as a collector, and I want to see how I want to have a conversation about how the moves and things that are happening out there kind of apply to me, and just spark some conversation about kind of that mentality, Bronson is exactly where you need to go. So to end this beer and to end this episode, cheers to you, sir. Cheers to everybody else. I'm going to finish this because I do want to wrap this up with kind of a quick lightning list. So cheers, buddy. Also, at the time of filming, he's at 918 subscribers. We got to get him to 1,000. Get him to 1,000. Only takes 82 more. So that's my 6. I've missed so many. There are so many great creators out there. I've got kind of a lightning list of just kind of some special shout-outs. Arcbound Geek, congrats on 1,000 subscribers just recently. That's fantastic. I know he hit that literally this morning. Steelfur, same to you, even though I know that happened a little bit a while ago. Somehow, Steelfur is also the only creator I've seen with plants in his videos. It's odd. They're just like in the background. Like, that's great. Other ones you gotta check out. The Tall Timmy. Team. We gotta go. Let's go. You want somebody of just pure joy. You gotta check out Tall Timmy. On top of that, Melody, you just got started. You've done 2 videos, but also pure joy. It's like a kid in a candy store, and it's like their first time realizing that candy stores exists. She's a lot of fun to watch. She's a lot of fun to talk to as well. Fabrica, I've got to bring in Fabrica, who is actually fairly big. He's not a smaller creator. He has phenomenal content, but he got caught in the middle of the Russia-Ukraine insanity, and I'm just glad that he and his family are okay. And it's nice to see him redoing some content. Go give him a shout out. Fabrika is him. As well as, to really end it, I gotta give a little love to Colorado. So hometown TCG, Josh, who is not in Colorado, but he sponsors Team Ascent, who is in Colorado, where a lot of the Colorado competitive team kind of play. They're your competitive group, so they do, they're doing like team battles online with like Team Kitchen Fable and all these others. They're a lot of fun to watch. If you are into the competitive space, hometown TCG is phenomenal. And lastly, Big Deck Energy. Keenan, Kitty, and Casey. This is really just to get you guys to make more content, because you guys are fun and enjoying, but so they're still just getting started, only a couple videos here and there. They're also like, we're gonna do some deck testing and try out, lists that won certain events and see how we do against them. So they're actually your competitive testers as well. A little bit of box opening here and there, but I just want to see you guys do more videos. And I want to see more people do more videos. So if you are interested in content creation, stay tuned to this channel, because I'm going to do a whole how to get started, just logistically, what to buy. I want to talk a little bit about some stigmas, and I know there's this idea out there that there's just too many, and how do I find my space and my voice when everybody's got everything covered? No, we don't. More voices are needed in this community, and it will be great to have you. But I'm going to save that for another time. Again, thank you, LSS, for the Content Creator Appreciation Kits. And thank you, everybody, for being a part of this experience, both with me and with those who I mentioned and those who I missed. For the people I missed, in the comments, let me know, who else do people need to be following? It's very possible I don't even know them. So point them my way. Let's just make this a celebration of our great content creator community. So that's all I have for you. I think this is one of the few videos that you've watched me get through a whole beer also. So thank you so much for joining, and cheers, y'all.